Hey everyone. If this is the first video that you are seeing, stop what you're doing and go back and find day one. All right, for everybody else, please make sure that you have subscribed. Please like the videos and please leave a comment. All right, here we go, y'all. Day 3. Faith couldn't believe her eyes. She looked back at the nurse that was pushing the wheelchair that she sat in and said, "Is that?" "Yes, your grandmother. Yes, it is." The nurse answered her question before she could finish asking it. But my granny is on hospice care. The nurses always say that she can't leave the house. There were 2 nurses holding Faith's granny up by the elbow so that she could see through the nursery's glass to see her great grandbaby. "Granny, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be in bed." Granny looked over at Faith and smiled. "He looks just like your father did when he was born." Faith turned her head quickly to see what her granny was talking about. Faith had never seen her father. He passed away when she was still in her mother's womb. Tears filled her eyes when she finally saw her little man. She looked at her son and saw a young black doctor, a handsome lawyer, a talented singer, an amazing athlete, a passionate school teacher, a successful business owner. She was proud of the potential that she had birthed into the world. Faith turned her head to her granny's shaky voice. "Faith, baby, love him however you can from wherever you can. I won't be able to help you because I just asked God to let me live to see him, and I feel him coming to get me." "No, Granny, no. Where are you going? I can't do anything without you." Tears jumped from Faith's eyes. "Don't cry, baby. It's my time. God blessed me with 95 years here. It's time for me to transition. I love you, baby girl. Always will." Granny looked at the nurse and said, "Can you take me home, please?" Faith watched her granny disappear through the double doors and cried as she looked back and forth from seeing the doors swing back and forth to her son swinging his arms back and forth as if he was playing with angels. I want to keep him." Faith's eyes pleaded with the nurse that pushed her to the nursery. The nurse's heart cried for Faith. It was time to take Faith back to the room now. She had already broken hospital protocol. "Faith, baby, you already signed the papers that gave the rights to your child away. I believe you did the right thing, baby. We have to go now because I wasn't even supposed to let you see the baby." "He's going to be fine, young lady. I will take good care of him." Faith turned around in the wheelchair to see a well-dressed man standing behind her and the nurse. Who are you, sir?" the nurse inquired. The man extended his hand toward her and said, "My name is Paul, and I'll be taking the young man with me. He is in good hands." The nurse couldn't get her thoughts together because she thought the man was beautiful, and she shook the smile off of her face and said, "Sir, it doesn't work like that." The man smiled and said, "Why don't you just take the young lady back to her room so she can get some rest?" Faith heard what the nurse said, but for some reason she believed the man. It was something about him that said that he didn't just talk to talk. Faith said, "Sir, if you take my son, can you do me a favor?" The man didn't look at Faith. He just stared through the glass as he said, "What's that, young lady?" Can you make sure that he knows that his mother loved him and that I just wanted the best for him and the best is something that I just couldn't give him? Paul answered without looking at her by saying, "No problem, young lady." The nurse shook her head as if the fine man was crazy and began to push Faith back to the room. Faith put her foot down on the ground to stop the chair from rolling and said, "Well, one more thing, sir." Paul still didn't turn around, but answered saying, "Yes, ma'am." "Please don't change his name. If I'm ever blessed to see him again, I'd at least like to know what his name is." Looking at the baby still, the man said, "Okay, what is his name?" Faith paused for a second and said, "His name is Jamal." The man turned around for the first time and looked Faith in her eyes and said, "I don't think you'll ever see him again, but his name will be Jamal."